Hello there guys. Today I'm going to show you how to implement a PHP contact form using Laravel. In this tutorial we are going to see how we can send messages using that is, someone can fill certain credentials and we are able to receive them using our PHP mail contact form. So you're going to implement this one using PHP, that is Laravel and the PHP, and we are going to see that is someone can fill his or her details here, that is the name, the email and the message, and send his or her message, and we are able to see this message using a particular functionality that is called mail trap, that is used for testing email notifications. So we are going to use mail trap to catch these particular messages, these credentials that are going to be generated by any user that comes in our application. So guys, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have several files that we're going to use in order to begin implementing this activity. So the first thing I would like you to make is a PHP controller, that is a PHP controller file. So you're going to make a PHP that is, and for mine I've made it is pagescontroller.php. so this one is basically just handling what is in my application. In my application I have index.blade.php, and the next one is contact.blade.php. So remember, here it's our contact form that we're going to be implementing. So I would like you to just follow along and probably you implement it in your own application. So this is just how we go about it in implementing contact form using Laravel. So let's begin. So the first thing here, the first thing you'll need to do is go to your terminal command here, and you're going to, let me just clear this. So the first thing here you are going to is to make PHP artisan make controller, and the controller here in my case is pages controller. So once you hit this one, you should be able to come up with this particular pagescontroller.php file, and then you're good to go. So just go type the command. You can name it the way whichever you want, just depends on which application you are making. So let's begin. So the first thing, once you have such particular file, it's going to come with some boilerplate code so that we can just begin adding our own code. So the first thing, as you can see here, I already have my function index, which just returns basically the home page of our website, that is the index page. So I'm returning the view pages.index. The next one is the one that returns that is the contact form, the pages.contact form. So when you look at in my application here, I have the home and then the contact form. So the other ones are just inactive. So this is the contact form that we are returning here. So now remember, now we are just implementing the contact form to make it function, so that anyone can send can type any message in our contact form and we are able to receive the particular message and be able to see it using our mail trap service. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to just generate the contact form, that is we are going to implement the contact form, that is submission, so that we are able to see so that we are able to request the particular information that we'd like for us to see. So the first one, since we already have now the function that returns the pages.contact, let's have another function here, that is public function. So this one is going to show us, the first one is show contact form, which just basically returns the particular page. This one is now going to return, in other words, it's going to receive the particular entries from our user, and then we are going to request them, and then see where we are going to submit them to. So the first thing is public function, and then the contact form, that is contact form. So that is public function contact form, is like that. And then okay, so so with the brackets, so that is the function submit contact form. So now here we are going to return the view. So which view do we want to return? So the view we are returning here under the sorry, not the view we are going to return, but we are going to have an array of data that is going to receive the particular inputs that are generated by the user. So we're going to have an array data here that is going to receive the particular information. So the first one is going to be, so we are going to have the data a variable that is going to have the particular credentials that we are receiving. Now here, when you look at in our contact form, we have the name, the email, and the message. So that's what we are requiring here. So the first one here will be the name. So we are receiving the name. So we are going to receive, so in other words, we are requesting particular data that is from our submit contact form, or in our contact form. So here we should have also a request. We are going to have a request variable. So we are going to have a request variable that is requesting for us the information that we need from particular the variable. So we are requesting this particular entries. So now here, since it's already defined, we can now use the request variable. So we are going to have the request variable, whereby it's going to request the first thing we are going to request, as we have said, is the name. So here you are requesting the name, the name. So after that, the next thing here we are requesting is the email. So we are going to have the email. So the email, and then we are requesting that. So here it's the email. So the next thing here we are going to request is the message from the user. So the message from the user this is an array which has this particular data that we want from the user, that is we are requesting. And then once we request, now we are able now to continue to submit that data in a particular place. So the first thing after doing that, we now need to request, we now need to submit it to a particular place. So now after doing that, the next thing, we need to mail the data to, or where the data now gets submitted to. That's where we are going to use the mail, that is the mail to in PHP. So mail to defines for us where do we want the data to be sent to, and this one will need to have a particular email that is going to send the particular data to. So this, I'm going to use my email. So at Gmail. So now here, this is the place the email is going to be sent to. So now once we do that, the next thing, we will now need to send the particular message to a particular functionality here, that is in other words, now we are mailing it to the particular email, and now we are sending it to this class called visitor conduct, which we are going to create just in a second. So new visitor conduct, and then here we are now passing the particular data from our array. That is, now what's happening here? The first thing we have done here, we are requesting the particular inputs from the, sorry, this one should be email, from the, that is from the user, and then we are now going to mail it to this particular email and then sending it to a new visitor conduct. Now this new visitor conduct is the one that is going to receive the particular data, and then is going to build the data. After it is built the data, it now sends it to the functionality, that is the mail trap that we're going to use, so that we're able to see the data that is coming from any user who goes to our application. So the next thing now, since we have already this particular class, or this particular, yes, this particular class, which we are passing the particular data, so we are going now here to pass the particular information to this new data. Once we are done with that, so now we need to create this particular visitor conduct. Now visitor conduct is a PHP mailable classes that we are able to create within PHP that are able to receive data. We are able to specify address, that is, whom are we sending a message to. As with visitor conduct or this mailable PHP classes, we are able to specify which address we are sending. As well, we can also specify, for example, where is the message coming from. We can also attach particular messages, that is, we can have the CC and many other stuff that you see in email conduct forms. So this, you can go and learn more about it under PHP mailables classes, so that you're able to know more about it. So now the next thing, now we need to create this particular, we are going to generate a command here, php artisan make mail. So we make mail, and the mail here we are making is with the caps, that is visitor conduct. So here we have this particular command, php artisan make mail visitor conduct. So once you hit it, it's going now to create the particular mail under this place here. So once I just click it, you can now see it's already created. So now this is a visitor conduct which extends the mailable class, which is a PHP class. So the first thing we are going to do here is, now remember we had created a data here within an array here. So this particular data, we are going to pass it here under the, that is under the usable, that is queuable serialized models, so that is going to use this particular data so that it can capture and generate the particular user inputs that we are using. So the first thing here we will want to is create, it's our public data. So we are going to pass the data. Now this data is public because it's being generated from the conduct form. So we are passing the particular data. Now the next one here, you can just see the comment here, create a new message instance. So we are going to pass the data here as well, and our construct, sorry, is going to create the new message instance. That, in other words, we are passing the data, and then we are able to have the construction be able to construct this data for us. Now, so here we are going to use a keyword we refer to as this keyword. So this keyword is the one we are going to use so as to specify the particular point it to our data, and then we pass the data within the one we have created before. And since we are using this particular variable, we need also to define it here under the construct. So we are going to define it there. So once we are done with this So remember this is this keyword, so it's pointing to this particular data, so that we can now create a new message instance. Now the next thing, we are now going to build a message. So the message you are going to build here, it's basically what, in other words, what we are going to return. For example, so once the person, we get the input from the user, the next thing is to show the user inputs that are being generated from our application, that is the contact form. So now the next thing here, we need to return this view. And since now we have not created this view, whereby we are going, it's the view that shows whom the message is coming from, that is the name, the email, and the message. That is what we are now requesting. So this particular build function, it should be able to return this particular view with such inputs from our user. So what we're going to do here, for us to return a view, because it should be a view, we'll now go to views and create a particular, for example, we're going to create a folder, and this folder, we are going to name it email, for example. So once we name it email, we are going to create a contact form, a contact blade, that is going to make us, that is going to show the user inputs that are received from the contact form. So now we have gone to views. Under views, we have created a folder, and under the folder we have created contact blade.php. So that is now what we are going to use, so that we can show our user inputs from our contact form. So I'm going to create we are going to create an HTML document, so whereby now here we are just going to receive our particular user inputs credentials. So here we are going to have a p tag as well, a closing p tag. So now here we are going to come up with the, so the first one is going to be email, it's going to be the name. So the name here is we have in the name, so it's from our pages controller. So we have the name, the email, and the message. So these are the functions we are just showing out here. So let's go to this one. So we are going to have the name. So under the name here, we are going to have the data, that is the data, remember the data that is generated from our pages controller. So here we'll have the name that we are receiving from, and then we are going to close it like that. So that's how we are going to have. Now we are still going to do the same thing with the email and the message. So we are just going to copy and paste there. So the next one should be the email, and the next one should be the message. So these are the three of them. So here I'm also going to change. So here I'm going to have the email, have the message. So these are the inputs that I am receiving from the, so I think from here you can now get what I'm doing. So I'm using this one, so as to, this one is what is going to appear in our mail trap, that is here, once I just get logged with this one. So I'll just log in a while. So that's what is going to appear. So we are going to have the name, the email, and the message which is coming from the user. Remember, our pages controller is just requesting under this function, so that after we request, we are going to mail it to, that is send it on a new visa contact, and then from there we are able to pass the data, that is public data, construct it, and build the message. Now, which view are we going to return here? The view we are going to return here is the one I've just created under the mail contact. So here, the view here is going to be email.contact. So this is what I'm going to return here. Now once you are done with that, we can now go to the next thing. Let's go back to pages controller. So we emailed it to this particular email, and then we created a new instance of visitor contact, and then we passed the particular data whereby we went to visitor contact. So the next thing here we should have is let's have a session flash that is going to, once the person hits submit, you should see a particular message that shows him or her that the message has been sent. So here we are going to have a flash message which has something like this. Thank you for your email. So this is what is going to appear using, let's just have single quotes. So this is what is going to appear under that is once the user submits the message. So this is what is going to appear. Now once he submits the message, we want him to stay in the same page, so we are going to return that is, we are going to redirect him to be at the same page. So we will redirect him to the same page. So we are going to have a route which just directs him to the same page. Now which is the same page? It is the contact. It should be this one. Remember, this one is the one that is returning the pages that is our pages.contact. So we are going to have contact.show. So once the message is successful, that is, yes, once the message has been sent, so the message that is going to pop up under session flash is going to be thank you for your email, and then just direct him to the same page. So he's just going to stay with this. So the pop-up message should appear somewhere here. Okay, so that is it. So now the next thing, since we are done with that, we should now go to our contact blade.php. So let's go to contact page. That is in our pages. So now this is the page that I've created for the contact, which just have no more extension. First thing we are going to do here under this particular contact blade, we are going to have our particular form. That is just basically, if you have dealt with the PHP contact forms, you're going to have, for example, we normally have a form here which has like a form action, and then where do you want it to submit to, and so forth. So the same thing that happens in Laravel we are going to use. So now we are going to have a form. Now for you to use form in Laravel, you also need to have a composer here, require Laravel, composer require Laravel collective/HTML. So now this particular function, particular command is going to install for you the Laravel collective HTML form, so that you're able to use them in your application. In my case, I already have it installed here, so I'm using 6.2 under the Laravel version 7. So what you can do, you can either copy this one, put it in your composer.json and just click composer update or install, and then you're good to go. As well, you can also require it using your terminal command here, that is composer require this particular HTML Laravel. So that's how you go about it. So in my case, it's already installed. So what you need to do here, let's go back to our pages contact blade. So we'll need now to have this particular form here. Now the form here is just is able to route for us the contact.submit form. So we are going to have a particular, so we are going to have, so this is how we construct it. So here we are having those, our form here, which is going to open, and route, that is, so we are going to route. Our route now just defines for us the where we are going to. In our case here, we want to route it to contact.submit once the user inputs his or her data. So contact.submit, and then we are going to have ending question marks like that. So now this, so what happens here, once the person fills his or her information, here we should have the contact.submit, which just basically submits the particular information to contact.submit, which should be in our pages controller, that is this one. In other words, once the person fills his or her, that is the name, the email, and the message, so it's going to come to this particular functionality with this, and then send it to visitor contact as we had done here. So let's go back to it. So once this happens, the next thing we need to do is to close this particular form. So you can see we have the name, the email, and the message here. So let's now just close. Now since we are using the one that is under the front end, that is the form, the opening form and the closing, since now I'm using the Laravel one, I'm going to close it using the Laravel version form. So I'm just going to close it using the Laravel. So it's just the same thing basically. We're done. So we have the form, and then we are going to close the particular form like that. So now we have just opened and closed the form. So now what else do we need to do? As we said here under pages controller, we have the session flash message. Now for us to use the session flash message, or for it to be able to work in our Laravel, we'll need the flash message within our Laravel. So we'll need to have it somewhere here. So let us have it somewhere here, whereby it's going to flash once the message is successful or from the user. So we are just going to have it. So we are going to have it. So this is how we normally, it's just a predefined in Laravel. So let me just quickly type it. So here, so here we are going to have the message here. So we have the message, and then the next, so alert. So we are just going to have it that way. Let's just have, that is, the user is able to see, and then we just close our div. So that's it. And then let's just have, because we had the if, so let us close it with the if, the end if. So now this one is already predefined. I could have as well just copied it and pasted it. So it's already predefined within Laravel. So once you have this one here, it's just going to be generated here within a pop-up. It's just going to be a pop-up that just shows the success. So the next thing we need to do here, since Now since we are routing here, we have a route which is going to contact.submit. Now we need to have construct these routes in our web.php. So the next thing we are going to have here is so in our web.php, I'm only returning the pages controller.index. So I now need to return the contact form. So here I will have route, and I'll be, so here I'm supposed to get the contact, the message, pages controller. So pages controller at so here we are referencing the particular show contact form. Okay, now here, so this one should be in, should have the, yes, should be that way. So contact pages at control, that is controller at show contact form, and then the name of the contact. So this is, in other words, we are returning this particular page here, this one. This is what we are referencing. The next one is the, so the next one is the contact, submit contact form. So let's also have the route for the submit contact form. So let me just copy this one because we are just going to change something small. So here it should be contact submit, the next one, and then here it should be what we are referencing here, submit contact form. So here it should be, should reference that one at submit contact form, that is. Now here it's going to go to the route get, and then it's going to get the contact.submit and then submit it to our that is within the route. Is going to get, sorry, this one should be post, sorry, this one should be post. So this one is going to now post. Remember, this one is now going to get the particular is going to return our pages.contact. The next one is going to post the particular details, and this one are the ones that is coming from our contact blade. So let me just save this one as well. Let me save that one. So now the next thing we'll need to do is go to mail trap. Now the mail trap, so mail trap is easy. It's an easy service that enables you to come up with the particular, that is, we're able to test email notification using the mail trap, and you can easily. So guys, now in our mail trap, so the first thing you want to do is come to demo inbox. So what you'll do here, you just choose the particular SMTP settings that is under the curl integrations. So which app are you using? For mine, I'm using Laravel. So since I'm using Laravel, I'll just come and copy the particular credentials that I want. So in my case, I'm using mail username, this one. So I'll just copy it in the env file, and then as well, let me just copy the mail password, and then now here it says mail address from. So the mail address from, let it just come from me. So let me just input my Gmail. So this is the email that is going to come from the person. That is, once I'm able to log into Mailtrap, I'm able to see the message, and from whom, that is my email, that is my Gmail, and it's coming from my address, and then whom the person who has now submitted a particular email in the contact form. So once we do this one, we are good to go. So let me just save this one. So I think we are now ready to test our application. Now before we continue, the next thing we'll need to do here under pages controller, we'll need to have, or we need to import the class for, we need to import the class for mail, that is the visitor contact mail that we just used. So here I'm just going to import this particular class. So these are the classes: use app, mail, visitor contact, and illuminate support facades email. So you need to have them so that it will go well. So now let's test our application and see if it's working. So we are now going to send a particular, we are going to input particular details in our website. So let's just have like Brian, and then Brian, let's see. So once we do that, we just submit. Sorry, let me just run the PHP artisan sum. Okay, so let's just go back again to so guys, make sure you have this, make sure you have the commas here. I just forgotten them, and then just save. So let's go back to our application again, and so that was the error coming. So let's just test it again and see. So message, so let's see if it's working. Okay, so now it's working. You can see the pop-up message here which says thank you for your email. So now let's head over to Mailtrap. So within Mailtrap, let's see, so it gets updated with our visitor contact. So the credentials is, name is Brian, email is the email I just put, and then the message is test message. Now you can do more with this one, it will be much different, because now you're able to, for example, if you are taking it to a Gmail server, you'll be able to implement similar particular functionalities, see messages that are coming from your application as well. So that's it using Laravel contact form. It's easy, and if you have any question, just post them in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer them. So guys, let's meet in the next tutorial.